8 victories, and today before the home fans at Lincoln Financial Field, looking to wrap up the division title as they take on the Atlanta Falcons in the final regular season game. Happy New Year, everyone. Dick Stockton along with Troy Aikman and Pam Oliver. The Atlanta Falcons eliminated from the playoffs, but right now they stand as the one obstacle to the Eagles, who can capture the NFC East title. And what an improbable story this is. This was a team that was 5-6. They lost one of the marquee players in the league, Donovan McNabb, but they have won 4 tough games since then, Troy, and here they are.
Yeah, you look at this team and you think back to that first win that they had to start this streak against Carolina. Not a real impressive win, but each week since that, they've looked better and better. And I think that you look back to the game last week against the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas night, and that really legitimized what they've done. This team's playing with tremendous confidence, and they really believe in what it is that they're doing. And there's no question that Jeff Garcia has had a lot to do with that. He's been a great leader for this football team, but probably the group, in my opinion, that's had just as much to do with it has been the defense, particularly that defensive line. Whereas earlier they were not getting much pressure on the quarterback, they've been great here over the last few ball games, and they've also done an outstanding job stopping the run.
Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons have had a soap opera kind of season, you might say, and they have fizzled down the stretch. And a lot of questions about this team. They have been eliminated, as we say. So what can you learn about a team that really doesn't have anything specific to play for?
Well, I think you look at the Atlanta Falcons all week long. They prepared as if they were going to be given an opportunity at least to be playing to get into postseason play. Jim Mora last night at the team hotel had a very emotional message to his football team saying regardless of what was at stake, they needed to go out and prove that they were a good football team. Well, when that meeting ended, they found out that they were eliminated from playoff contention. And now I think it's an opportunity to find out about the leadership and the character of this football team, particularly Michael Vick, who's coming off one of his worst games of the season last week versus Carolina.
There you see the Atlanta sideline, and Algie Crumpler, and a disappointing year for the Falcons, who have had a good start, began at 5-2. And Jim Mora has his team at 7-8. Meanwhile, one of the key reasons, besides Jeff Garcia, you saw Brian Westbrook. Falcons will get the ball first, and David Akers gets this game underway with a kick that bounces at the 5 and goes in for a touchback. And right now, let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Hey, Dick, and one of the reasons the Eagles have been able to turn this bad boy around has been the play of the defense. Now, that unit has taken accountability one step further. They have organized players-only meetings with no coaches present in that situation. They have taken that meetings, though. They don't just necessarily sit around and gripe about things. They do constructive things. They watch film together. They have the game plan together. They correct and critique each other as well. 2 of the players who started those are Jeremiah Trotter and Brian Dawkins. They are obviously consummate team leaders. Back to you.
No question about it, Pam, and this team has hung in there with the adversity that they had. The first play is a handoff to Warwick Dunn, and no gain on the play. And let's take a look now at the Falcons offensive line, and leading the league in rushing. Troy, they've had to do something right up there.
Well, they have, and they have all season long. I mean, this is not an overly big group, and that hurts them in pass protection. But one of the reasons why they're the #1 rushing offense in the National Football League is due to the athleticism of that group up front.
2nd down and 10, and getting Matt Lair back. Todd McClure, the center, has a contract extension. And then again, they go to Warwick Dunn, and the Eagle defensive line limits Dunn to a 2-yard gain. Jeremiah Trotter making the tackle. You talked at the outset about the defensive line, and Jim Johnson's group has really stepped up in the last few months.
Well, when you look at what happened to them in the middle of the season when they were not playing very good football, and why it is so dramatically different here over the last 4 weeks, especially the last 2 weeks, it's been due to those 4 defensive players up front.
3rd down and 8. Eagles will not blitz. Michael Vick to throw for the first time if he can. And Vick's toss batted in the air. It was intended for Warwick Dunn downfield and covered by Brian Dawkins, who has picked up his game dramatically in the last month. So 3 and out, and the Falcons continue to struggle with opening drive offense.
And one of the things in talking with Jim Johnson was that he did not want Michael Vick to be able to get to his play side and throw the ball, but they didn't get hurt on that last play.
Michael Kanan with the punt, and it goes out of bounds around midfield, so the Eagles will see good field position following the 28-yard punt by Kanan. So 36-year-old Jeff Garcia, 4-1 record after taking over for Donovan McNabb. And of course, he's been with several clubs, as we know, and has really relished taking over the leadership of this club.
Well, a lot's been made of the way that he has played and the confidence that he has brought to this team. But I think that his game has elevated during this 4-game stretch as well. He's certainly enjoying himself. In fact, he told us that he's having more fun than he has at any other point in his career, even going back to the successful days that he had there in San Francisco.
Starting in midfield are the Eagles. Garcia to throw and getting a big pass rush, but completing to Brian Westbrook. Here goes Westbrook, and tripped up inside the 25-yard line. An explosive start for Philadelphia.
Well, this is really what Jeff Garcia has done a good job of here over the last couple of weeks. Demario Williams comes in untouched and puts pressure on Garcia, but because he's able to move out to his play side, he finds the Brian Westbrook and gets it into his hands, and it looked like Westbrook was going to go the entire way, but a good touchdown saving tackle there at the end by Chris Crocker.
And a great block by Dante Stallworth, a 29-yard pickup and a first down at the 21 of Atlanta. And we have the first penalty. It'll be a false start call.
False start, offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Terry McCauley, today's referee. Reggie Brown called for the false start. Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, they have been healthy, intact, and have really come up big in the last couple of games.
You know, and that's really been the key. I mean, it doesn't sound all that great to football fans out there when you talk about the offensive and defensive lines, but you know, as much as the defensive line for the Eagles has had to do with their defensive success, this offensive line has been outstanding as well.
First down and 15 after the penalty. Garcia's pass, trying to get it to Stallworth. And right now, let's take a look at the Atlanta Falcons defense. 10th against the run. Grady Jackson has had a big year. John Abraham, though, has been banged up, and that's hurt them.
Yeah, and you look at that defensive front, the job that they've done against the run. They really have been good in that area. Now, where they have struggled has been with this group. The secondary for the Atlanta Falcons has not played as well as what they would like. D'Angelo Hall, of course, a Pro Bowl player, but they've had to shuffle a lot of players there on the other corner opposite of him.
2nd and 15, the handoff to Westbrook. And Westbrook picking up about 3 yards. Chris Crocker, the free safety in. You talk about injuries to the secondary. Jason Webster, the starting cornerback, hurt, and Kevin Mathis also was banged up. So they were thin to begin with in the defensive secondary. It'll be 3rd down and long. Ed Donatel, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons.
Ed Donatel has been a very successful defensive coordinator in this league for a long time. Most people, however, remember that big 4th down conversion against the Green Bay Packers that kept the Eagles alive in the playoffs many years ago.
3rd and 12. Garcia gets good protection, and on the run, the pass incomplete, intended for Stallworth and batted down by Lawyer Malloy. So 4th down coming up, and Akers will come on to try a field goal. So the big play to Westbrook, and now the Falcon defense tightens, and Akers, who was 3 for 3 last week, will attempt a 41-yard field goal. And Akers puts the Eagles in front, 3-0. With a 41-yard field goal. And right now for a game break, let's check in with Joe Buck in Los Angeles. Joe.
All right, so Dick, you got the 3-point lead there for Philly. How about the NFC Eastern Division crown for the Eagles? 5th time last 6 years. Tony Romo, 4th and goal, could not get in. It's an 8-point Detroit lead. That game about to wind down. So Dallas on their way to a loss. The Eagles win the division. Congratulations to Andy Reid and company. Dick and Troy and Pam, back to you.
And the Eagles and their fans know this. This is the 5th NFC East title in the last 6 years for Philadelphia. Romo stopped, as you saw, on 4th down at the 1-yard line.
Well, now you see Andy Reid and Jim Johnson conversing, and you just wonder what starters now are going to be rested. There's no question that Andy Reid, in previous seasons, when given an opportunity to rest players going into the last game of the season, he has done that, knowing that they're going to have to come back next week and play again here at home. I would have to believe that they're going to begin resting players immediately.
I would think so. I happened to run into Juan Castillo, the offensive line coach of the Eagles, a little while ago. I said, what do you do if Dallas loses the game? And he felt that they would start to make changes in the second half, but we'll see what they do now that they know the result there. So the Eagles can take a deep breath now as they've won the division, and Akers kicking off. Allen Rossum at the 1, returning for Atlanta, and runs into a stone wall at the 22. Falcons going on offense for the 2nd time in this game. So right now the Bears and the Saints have clinched byes in the first week. Chicago home field throughout. The Eagles have the 3rd seed and Seattle number 4. The Cowboys are number 5, and the Giants, by the virtue of the St. Louis Rams winning today, would be the 6th and final team, and they won a big one last night against the Redskins to finish 8-8.
Well, they sure did, and congratulations to them, especially Tiki Barber. What a great game he had. Wow.
3 touchdowns, well over 200 yards. From the 23, Warwick Dunn on the handoff, and Mike Patterson right there to make the stop. Dunn picking up 4.
You know, a little bit of a gift, though, given to the Philadelphia Eagles here as far as Dallas losing the ball game. I don't think at any point during the week did the Eagles feel that Dallas would lose to Detroit at home, so they prepared as if they would have to win this ball game. But now to be given the opportunity to rest players is going to be nice for them.
And that may happen sooner than later, as the pass underneath to Roddy White, good for 3 yards, and you saw Andy Reid talking to some of the players, explaining what happened, what the strategy is. Well, if all the fans didn't know the result of the Cowboy game, they do now, as the Lions victory has posted the final score. And welcome to
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen Hotel and Country Club, featuring 148 specially appointed guest rooms and a magnificent spa and health centre. Visit our driving range, pro shops, golf academy, and get your golfing tips or tuition from our resident PGA teaching professional.
Some people think the internet is a bad thing. A place for mankind to exercise its darkest desires. An open market where you can buy...
Oh, but I think the official saw that hand, and that's what drew the flag.
35-yard penalty on Hood and a 1st down. Falcons on the Eagles 35. Michael Vick, the quarterback, and Warwick Dunn. And picks up about 4 yards as we check in with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Dick, before they put the end of the Dallas game up on the scoreboard, Andy Reid went to certain players, tapped them on the shoulder, said, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. A.J. Feeley's warming up, and he's going in for the Eagles, as we'll see in just a little bit. This is a time for some of these backups to get a little game time, but Andy Reid knew that it's better to get some of these guys out.
No question about it. You don't want to get any player injured when you know you'll have to be playing in a wild card game next week. Play action, and Michael Vick has plenty of time and completes to Michael Jenkins, and a 1st down to the 15. Eagles winning their 5th division title in the last 6 years.
You know, you look at the protection that Michael Vick is going to get on this play, and a lot of people feel that the reason Michael Vick has not been more consistent as a passer this year has had more to do with the lack of protection by the offensive line. You see there, he got the protection. He's able to get the ball delivered to Jenkins.
16-yard gain And the Falcons threaten. Here is Dunn going outside. And Dunn is about a yard or so shy of the first down. Dhani Jones makes the stop. As Dunn, who has not been used that much in recent weeks when the Falcons have struggled. They're looking at a 2-6 finish in the second half of this year. And Dunn kind of has been a forgotten weapon.
You know, you can see there by the graphic what has happened over the last 10 ball games. His yard per carry average down dramatically. Of course, Jarius Norwood, the rookie, he's been playing more here as of late. He's been very productive when he's been given his opportunities.
Second down and 1. Vick. A lot of time. Lofts it into the end zone to a wide open Warrick Dunn for the touchdown. A 7-yard play. An interminable time that Dunn was standing there wide open, and Jim Mora, who knows there is pressure on him as the Falcons season comes to an end, elated that the Falcons have taken the lead.
They run this off of play action, and Michael Vick was able to buy some time because of the protection. There's just nowhere to go with the football, as you can see. Everybody's covered up. Warrick Dunn leaked out late. That's why he was so open. Michael Vick found him.
Morton Anderson adds the extra point, and the Falcons lead 7-3. So Dunn receiving the pass from Vick, who now has 20 touchdown passes this year, and that is a career high for him.
Haagen-Dazs is so thick and creamy. That's why it melts so slowly in your mouth. So the deliciously rich experience lasts and lasts and lasts. And why not try Bailey's ice cream from Haagen-Dazs? The perfect combination. Haagen-Dazs, the longer-lasting pleasure.
Ever wished you could be there to see your team in action? With Game On Holidays, you can combine that big match atmosphere with the holiday of a lifetime for the whole family. We offer city breaks and holidays incorporating all U.S. sports, including NASCAR. All you have to do is visit our website and choose the games or races you want to see, and we'll do the rest. Great seats, great games, great value. Game on.
Donovan McNabb watching festivities from up on top, and he has been rehabbing his torn ACL, and we saw him in practice the other day and says it's coming along well.
Yeah, I was surprised that he's actually moving as well as what he is, and he, you know, as you can tell, he's in good spirits. He hadn't lost his sense of humor. I know this has been hard for him. You know, for any quarterback, any player, when you get hurt, you're not a part of a team when they're out having success. But, you know, one of the really good guys in the National Football League, and has been a great leader for this organization.
Michael Kanan kicking off following the Falcons touchdown. Reno Mahe trying to get some running room, gets down at the 21-yard line. So Michael Vick with his 20th touchdown pass of the season. And Vick, he'll take the lead anytime. 7-3.
This is my motivation.
You can do it, Albert.
This is fun to watch.
This is my off day.
Who says that the NHL isn't exciting?
This is how you pronounce my name. Dion.
Moving St. now, or?
This is my Stanley Cup haircut.
Here, look at the fans.
Equal to the task.
We have had a whale of a hockey game here tonight. Wow.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
Back here in Philadelphia, the Falcons lead the Eagles 7-3. And A.J. Feely has gone in at quarterback, has appeared in one game, and that was against the Colts, where he completed 4 out of 5. This is his second stint with the Eagles. They start on the 21-yard line. Terrell Buckholter in at running back. Buckholter doing superbly as a backup running back. No gain on the play. And the Eagles, who did not win in a division game last year, 5-1, and that was the key to them winning the division. Doing it all against the teams.
Well, they played well within the division. They've been playing well within the division for a number of years, with the exception of last year, of course, after the injury to Donovan McNabb. But, you know, for a team that came out and played exceptionally well and was rolling and then went through that stretch where they were not playing very good football, the way that they've been able to turn around this season is really remarkable.
Feely gets hit as he tries to get it out to Buckholter. Interesting that the one loss that the Eagles had in the division.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 51, illegal helmet contact. 15-yard penalty.
Demario Williams.
Automatic first down.
Yeah, Demario Williams a couple times now been able to get pressure, you know, on the quarterback. No question there. You're going to see him lower the helmet right there underneath the chin. That's one way to get ready to play this ball game. A.J. Feely, who has not played much, played a little bit several weeks ago, and then to get in here and drop back to pass and then take a helmet right underneath the chin strap.
Saw the Eagles division record. Their one loss was to the New York Giants here in an overtime game, and that's who the Eagles will play in the wild card game next week. Terrell Buckholter off the right side, and a flag is down as Buckholter crosses the 40-yard line.
Illegal formation. Offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So a 5-yard penalty. And Buckholter limping off the field. Talking about Buckholter, who is practically out 2 years with a couple of operations on his right knee. They don't want to take any chances, obviously, with Brian Westbrook. So Buckholter, one of the key backups, and so he gets hurt.
Well, and Terrell Buckholter is a key component to this offensive team. I know Brian Westbrook is the guy, but they've been able to utilize Buckholter, especially here lately, and he has run exceptionally hard.
Ryan Motes has gone into play running back for Buckholter. There's Motes, first down and 15, and the slant attempt is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Rod Coleman. So Jeff Garcia has a very brief appearance in the 16th game, and not taking any chances with him, obviously, going into next week's wild card game.
Well, I'll tell you, what a great situation the Philadelphia Eagles had coming into this season with Donovan McNabb as your starter, Jeff Garcia, a guy who won a lot of games in this league, as your backup, and then A.J. Feely and the success he had here in Philadelphia a few years back.
Oates is brought down by Paul Carrington after a 2-yard pickup. And of course, there are a lot of teams, Troy, that don't have even a decent second quarterback on their roster. So that's paid off, that depth there for Philadelphia.
That was a nice move. Of course, they traded him, you know, there to the Miami Dolphins, got a second-round pick when they traded him, and then ultimately A.J. Feely, things didn't work out for him that well there in Miami, and ultimately got traded to San Diego. But when he became available, I thought it was really a great pickup by this organization. I thought it was a great pickup when they picked up Jeff Garcia, considering the health here as of late of Donovan McNabb.
On 3rd and 13, pass caught by Hank Baskett, and a first down, and remains in bounds and stays on his feet to get inside the 40. A 28-yard completion to Baskett.
Yeah, Hank Baskett, a rookie who the Eagles really like. He's a big physical wide receiver. Got good speed, and they especially like his hands. Running a good route, and then of course Feely putting it on him. And you got John Abraham, who was limited last week. You see the big club there on his left hand. He had surgery on his thumb. They inserted pins. This is his second week to play with that cast.
Here's Ryan Motes trying to get outside, and he does. And a flag down as Motes picks up the first down and gets inside the 30-yard line. Paul Carrington, the rookie defensive end, initially
illegal
missed
use
Motes.
of hands to the face. Defense, number 71. 5-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Darryl Shropshire, illegal hands to the face.
Well, there's a shot of Terrell Buckholter working on him and seeing exactly what the nature is of his injury. You see him pointing to the knee. And I can tell you, if he is unable to play once they go into the playoffs, that's going to be a big loss for this football team.
And they're also shifting that offensive line as well.
Well, they got Harriman's here, the left tackle. He's normally the left guard.
Jamal Jackson remains at left guard. Stepping up is Feely, and the pass caught by Baskett. And Baskett, the undrafted rookie from New Mexico, picks up 11 yards and a first down inside the 10. So Harriman's is at left tackle, Jackson at left guard, Nick Holes the center, and Scott Young and Sean Andrews on the right side.
Well, this is a pretty good picture here of the hands that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Nice job of being able to adjust his body. You know, and he, along with some of these other wide receivers, they're still young guys. They're only going to get better, and they have throughout this season.
First and goal at the 9, and Ryan Moats tackled by Keith Brooking after picking up a yard. And you talk about the variety of receivers. Jeff Garcia telling us the other day, when I was in San Francisco, they devised game plans for only one man. He was talking about Terrell Owens. Here, they all are unselfish, and he trusts all of the receivers.
Well, and I can't even begin to tell you what that means for a quarterback when, you know, they're always, usually at least, there's a guy on every team that is the star player, the star wide receiver, not just in San Francisco when Terrell Owens was there. There's always a little bit of pressure on a quarterback to get the ball in his hands. It's nice when you don't have that, and you can just read through your progression.
The pitch is to Ryan Moats. And Moats is cut down by Jimmy Williams, who has been injured this year, making his 5th start today at cornerback. Loss of 1 yard for Ryan Moats. It'll be 3rd and goal. And it looks like Moats is a little gimpy right now going back to the huddle.
Well, that's what you worry about when you get into a game like this. As we try to see at least exactly what it was that happened, but you know, all of a sudden you get into a game and these players realize that it's a meaningless game. Not that they're not going to play hard, but now you worry about key players going down.
Buckhalter already shaken up. And they're not going to get it off. A delay of the game penalty against the Eagles. And that will bring up a 3rd and 14. Well, let's see if they called a timeout before the play clock ran down. It looked like the clock went to 0.
Well, based on the fact that A.J. Feely is over on the sidelines now communicating with the staff, he must have gotten the timeout called. And a lot of that is just the mechanics for A.J. Feely. I mean, again, for a guy who hasn't played a lot of football, you know, here this season, not even knowing that he was going to be playing today until the last minute. It's just a matter of getting out there and being able to go through the mechanics.
Timeout on Philadelphia. 3rd down.
So they did not get the timeout called, and it'll be 3rd and 14. 3rd and goal from the 14. There's Buckhalter, who has come on big, scored a touchdown last week in the Christmas night win at Dallas. There's that score above. The Lions beating the Cowboys 39-31. 3rd and goal, tip and caught for the touchdown by Matt Schobel. 14-yard touchdown pass, A.J. Feely to Matt Schobel, who caught one last week against the Cowboys.
Well, the one he caught last week was his first touchdown reception of the season, and now he comes right back this week, catches another one. You know, this ball got tipped. Great concentration by Matt Schobel after the ball was deflected to be able to pull that one in. Good job keeping his feet in bounds as well.
Keith Brooking got a hand on that pass. And David Akers on board as the Eagles regain the lead. Akers gives the Eagles a 10-7 lead. Matt Schobel, who hadn't caught a touchdown pass in actually 28 games before last week against Dallas, now has 2 in 2 games. TD pass for Feely.
This is my motivation.
This is fun to watch.
This This is my off day.
Who says that the NHL isn't exciting?
This is how you pronounce my name. Dion.
Are we saved now or?
This is my Stanley Cup haircut.
Here, look at the fans.
Equal to the 10.
We have had a whale of a hockey game here tonight. Wow.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking. It was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton. That was a big moment for me.
Nine plays, 79 yards for the Eagles. Feely 3 for 4 for 53 yards. And his first touchdown pass since 2004 when he had 11 TD tosses for Miami. Karel Buckholder walking off the field into the locker room. And that's not a good sign for the Eagles as David Akers kicks off. Alan Rawson returning from the 6. Always dangerous is Rawson, but he is buried at the 27-yard line. So we'll take a timeout here in Philadelphia. This crowd celebrating the Eagles Division Championship.
Holiday greetings.
Joe Thornton has some speed. You can't stop him. A shot!
You're watching NASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. On NASN, you can experience over 100 live NFL games this season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl live. Watch up to 175 regular season NHL games and live postseason, including the Stanley Cup Finals. Feel the excitement of live Major League Baseball with up to 260 regular season games and exclusive coverage of the World Series. NASN also brings you an exclusive lineup of college sports with live college football and basketball. And with a daily lineup of sports news, talk shows, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the very best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
Lead 10-7, and Jeremiah Trotter, the run stopper, non-parallel, out of the game right now, and only 3 Eagles starters on defense in there. 2 linebackers, Omar Gaither and Dhani Jones. And there is Vic on the bootleg, and the other starter just made a superb play in the open field. Strong safety Sean Considine, who limits Vic to only 3 yards.
You know, Sean Considine is a guy who filled in for Michael Lewis when they benched him following the New Orleans Saints game in October. And, you know, this is the way that he's been playing. I mean, you talk about tough duty trying to tackle Michael Vick out in the open field. And yet that's exactly what he was able to do. He has definitely upgraded this football team since he became the starter.
2nd down and 7. From the 30, and here's Jarius Norwood. And Norwood, a good-looking running back, rookie from Mississippi State, gets about 7 yards as we check in again with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Dick, there was a great deal of concern about Karel Buckhalter coming from his teammate and coaches as trainers worked on him before he headed into the locker room. Buckhalter has missed 3 out of the last 4 seasons with injuries. Now he's got a knee strain. It is not, however, on the same knee where he has had surgery the last couple of seasons. Back to you.
And that's one of those, you roll the dice sometime, you put the backup in, and you need him as well, and he gets hurt.
Well, and anytime you got a head coach who's checking on a player coming off the field about his health, you know that that's a significant player.
Norwood, and Norwood